We got something different for today, and this game is currently on early access. You know the drill. We honestly cover different games. I try to do my best to kind of expand my horizons, and also for you guys to check out all these sort of games. We give games a chance over here, and we have Grounded 2 early access. I typically don't cover early access games because I'm not a fan of that business model, and it's also the fact that games could literally change over time, especially with games that are frequently updated. I mean, look at Cyberpunk. I mean, Grounded 1 was actually in early access when it first came out, and once it became its full game, there was like so many things to do, and currently I think they are done with the game. They should be, since they're working on the sequel. I wanted to cover this game just because I never expected to really like it. I am very burnt out from the survival genre because it's just the same old thing over and over again. But Grounded, at least with Grounded 2, they kind of change it up a bit. So this is my first impressions as a new player to the series, even though I did actually play Grounded 1 with my in-law along with my other cousins. A little backstory. We decided to play it because it was free on Steam at that time. It was a little free trial for the weekend. We tried it out. We actually loved it. But the thing is, we didn't know, and this was our first time finding out, one of our youngest cousin, she had this big phobia for insects. I don't know the term for it, but she had a big phobia seeing all these insects go around and attacking us. So we decided to drop the game. We felt so bad. It was literally a horror game for her, and we decided to not really continue and stick through it with the playthrough at all. Oh, watch out, watch out, watch out. Oh my god, they just murdered. No, it's okay. They're not attacking you. They're not oh. Okay.
Oh,
yeah, I got you.
I'm so sorry.
I got you. It's all good.
Okay, never mind.
Oh, guys. Kelsey, where are you?
Oh, just run! Run, go, go, go! Fast forward to 2025. My in-law hits me up. He's like, Tim, we gotta try out Grounded again, but let's try out Grounded 2 and see how it is, especially like with the reviews. There's been like solid reviews about the game, and we're like, all right, let's just see how it is. I game passed it because there's other games that I was initially about to purchase later on that I will cover on for this channel. There's like a lot of games to check out. And yeah, from there on out, I was just impressed. Yes, there are problems with this current build of the game, but I'm pretty sure over time it will get better. I hope. And that's really because it's on the Unreal Engine 5. I'm sorry, I've been beefing with Unreal Engine like the past year or so. So it's been, or just unoptimized games on this generation has been, it's just been a mess. But anyway, let's talk about the positives. I don't want to yap too much. Again, this is a first impressions video. Let's not make it a whole video essay. It's also typically the reason why I don't cover early access games. It's also the fact that they're typically hard to give a proper review on, because I like to, on this channel, I like to give a one whole review. I don't want to give updates. I want to give you guys the whole view of things. Why do I enjoy Grounded 2? What was like a key thing that really just sparked my interest in this game? And that's really not because of the survival aspect. Well, maybe there's a certain degree to it. It's more so that the game feels like Monster Hunter. As someone who is currently enjoying Monster Hunter Wilds, but I also acknowledge the problems that it had when it first launched. I don't like how things were executed with their overall level design, because Monster Hunter Wilds was trying to be this like open world and have interconnected maps where you have a seamless experience overall, which they did in certain aspects, but for the most part, I hate to say it seemed like they failed to do that on what they were initially trying to go for. I personally think that Grounded 2 gives me that itch of what I wanted in Monster Hunter Wilds. You're able to have this sense of exploration. You're able to discover all these different things. The biggest part of that game is the hunting. You have to hunt the bigger bugs. You have to hunt all these sort of little bugs. You get their material, you could craft armor, all these different weapons, and then this armor and weapons have their own passive abilities. There's all these sort of like nice things in the game. It's just that when it comes to this game, it lacks certain things for combat, which we'll kind of talk about later. But I like how the overall gameplay feels like a Monster Hunter game. I really do, because you prep up your items, you prep up your equipment, you set off on your journey, and you pretty much do the same thing over and over again, which is like Monster Hunter. And these little journeys that you're going to be having, they have risk. There's big risk to them. Sometimes it's scary to go through the night. Sometimes it's even scary going through the day, depending what environment you're going to go to, because they have these different biomes in the game, even though it's all this map is in like one lawn, because you were like these kids who shrunk down into this lawn, and now you have this bug POV of what you're seeing in this lawn. And it's very nice with how they implemented it, because it's not just a straight up, you're not just seeing nature all the time, you're also seeing all these other little details in the game, which I love. When I was younger, I loved Bug's Life, and I love that whole aesthetic. I like seeing all the different bugs in that movie, so it reminds me of that. For me to experience my own way, my sandbox experience of a Bug's Life is nice. It's pretty cool. So there's a lot of beauty in its exploration, but at the same time there's a lot of threats as well. Another nice addition for this game were the mounts. Apparently that was not a thing in the first game, which I was like, oh, I felt like that should have been in the first game, but this was like their big advertisement for Grounded 2. And I think this is just a nice addition overall. I also like how you don't really rely, in terms of like gameplay balancing, you don't really rely on the mounts. The mounts are like, they are there to help, but they are not there to take over. What I mean by that, you're pretty limited when you're on the mount. You're just really there for mobility if you're going to be using a mount. They are also nice in combat because they help take away aggro. I do like how, again, there's a lot of mechanics in the game where they do provide you strategical gameplay. There's all these little traits or elements that help you be successful on your journey. I noticed that when my in-law and I were able to get our mounts, and they also fight with us against these bigger bosses or bugs, right? We're able to win much more than us trying to fight it ourselves, because there's this whole thing in strength in numbers, which I really like, of where we're building a whole team to take down a lot of these enemies, which I don't know, I just like that factor into it. Teamwork is the dream work. It's nice to see. Apparently they're gonna have different mounts in the future, and currently I think they only have 2 mounts, which is, again, the default one is the Renat Soldier, and then the other one apparently is a spider one, like a Orb Weaver, but I have not bumped into any spider eggs yet, so I need to find some. They all have, I think each mount is going to have different stats on what they prioritize and how they function. I hope they do that right and see how it's balanced and how things work. I do hope a lot of the mounts are unique. If they're just mounts to attack or just there for transportation, like, come on, I feel like they could kind of add a little bit more into that. So I hope to see a flying mount in the future. That'll be actually cool to see. So on to the next positive. What I liked is the conveniences, you know, when it comes to their mechanics. They streamline the main tools. I know people were apparently, because I was seeing some feedback about the game, because I was curious how the community was feeling about it, you know, just to get an idea, right, as a new player, or as someone who's going to be investing my time into this game now, right? Apparently people didn't like the Omni Tools. So Omni Tools is like a tool in one, and it does not take up any sort of space in your inventory. So whether you're trying to gather whatever resource, your Omni Tool or the game will automatically take out that tool for you, and you'll farm it. You just have to press a command prompt. Whether, I think, like, I'm on PC, so, you know, I just hold down E. But apparently people don't like that. They want to individually do it. They want to manually farm it as well, like these certain resources, than just holding down a button. Which I guess it's like, I feel like they should just switch the bind for that, like give an option where people just tap if they want to farm some stuff. But when it comes to inventory space, I feel like it's just much better to streamline it, because I just like how I have my main items on my hotbar than having the main tools, if you get what I mean. So last but not least, when it comes to the positives, I love the linearity for a survival game. I know, as much as I always say in this channel that I love games that express creative freedom. You have a lot of player expression on the gameplay. I'm a big advocate for that, trust me. But with survival games, they've been doing that over and over again for the longest time. They don't really have anything that makes them unique other than the typical, you be on an island and you just constantly farm, you build all these sort of things, these unique things, especially what your mind is telling you to do. But again, it just becomes the same thing over and over again, and you get tired of it. That's how it was for me back then, because during the 2010s, there was a lot of survival games that were getting popular, or they were getting big at that time. I think it's because of the whole Minecraft wave. Other survival games were trying to kind of go through that wave as well. So to see Grounded 2 not just have the traditional survival gameplay loop, it's also the fact that there's now a direction or a main focus on what you should be doing. I like that a lot. I like how the story kind of gives you that direction of what you should do, because you have all these main objectives or these main missions that you should focus on, and you progress more throughout the game, along with like your equipment or maybe potentially some items, and you also discover new environments, whatever the game has in store for you. I like that a lot, rather than it being an open-ended video game. I just like to see an actual end for a video game, or an end goal, and it's a little cherry on top that it has story to look forward to. So I give them props for that. Okay, so my negatives or cons for Grounded 2, pretty self-explanatory for those who haven't even experienced the game yet. Performance is a big issue, as I do have a chunky PC. I have a 4070 Super with a AMD 7900X. It runs these games very well, especially when they're optimized. But man, these games on these releases, I'm so tired of it. And when I found out it was running on the Unreal Engine 5, I was like, of course it's running like this because it's Unreal. I've been personally having issues with Unreal games that are not running properly, but I also been having issues with games that are running on console. So this is just an industry thing, and hopefully over time it gets better. I just hate how on release it's not there, because by the time they probably fix it, I'm not probably even gonna be playing the game. We'll see. I mean, we'll see also with the future content, because maybe I will play this game for a long time. So another issue is, I also read upon this and I also saw feedback from other players, is that they're dealing with issues with multiplayer. The game is choppy, you're lagging a lot throughout the game. I definitely have experienced that a lot, as I'm not the host, my in-laws the host. I obviously gotten over it. It doesn't run horrendous, but there are moments where I'm just very irritated of it, for sure. But again, I'm having fun with the game regardless, and I don't even want to nag my in-law about it. So that's why my issue with multiplayer isn't as deep. If I were to play this for a very long time, and constantly be someone who's joining a host, yes, fix this problem, Obsidian. What we doing? It's Obsidian, right? Like the people that I know who made Fallout New Vegas. We gotta correct ourselves. Oh yeah, it is Obsidian. So yeah, come on, man. What are we doing? All right. So my next negative that I have, or con, is the combat. Actually, I know I just praised the game for it being like a Monster Hunter game. What I love about Monster Hunter is its combat, right? Along with little hunting simulation that they be having for their past games. This game, as much as it does it well with its whole systems and gameplay loop on certain things, it could also be very punishing to a certain extent. It is reasonable why it's punishing though, right? You could get to these certain things in the game if you have obviously these certain materials, which is gonna take a lot of time to do. And in order to do that, you have to defeat a lot of these bigger bugs. You have to explore these different biomes. So there's all these various of things that you have to do. And at that process, you gotta go through a lot of pain. There's a lot of things to kind of prepare for. Sometimes there are just moments where I just feel like the game just is robbing you from those experiences. I don't know how Grounded 1 is, because I don't know if this is the type of game that you guys go for to play for like the difficulty. If this game is really about its difficulty, I wish the combat was a bit smoother, especially when we go ahead and get out and into the wild and face all these things. The whole unknown journey is insane, to say the least. As much as I did praise this game to be similar like Monster Hunter, the thing is about Monster Hunter is that I love its combat along with its little hunting simulation in the past games. With this game, as much as it does have these certain interesting systems and gameplay loop, the combat, I don't know. It just feels, again, I'm very biased when it comes to action in video games, as I am a big fan for combat in video games. So when it comes to action, Grounded 2 could have been better. It feels like I'm playing the Dead Island games. For me, I'm not a big fan of Dead Island. I'm not a fan of its combat in Dead Island, and Dead Island was also produced in the Unreal Engine 5. So I'm seeing similarities to it, and the thing is, this game could have been way better. It could be a bit more snappy with its swings. It could be a little bit more responsive. I feel like that's also because of the whole multiplayer situation. I'm not a really big fan of it. Like, the pairing is a little bit weird as well. So maybe they could improve this in the game, but I feel like they're just not gonna. So I'll be surprised if they actually improve the combat overall. I like how the little journeys that you go through are difficult, but they become very punishing when you kind of feel helpless because you're trying to get all these resources, and in order for you to keep progressing in the game, you have to overcome these obstacles, which are, again, these bugs that could just be one-shotting you. And yes, if you want to upgrade your material or your equipment, you have to find these certain minerals, and sometimes they don't spawn back in anymore. I think like it's the brittle quartz or something like that. Yeah, like they don't spawn in anymore for us. Like we go to a certain ant tunnel. I think it's one of the first ant tunnels that you go into, and yeah, they don't spawn in those minerals anymore, and you have to go somewhere else, and it's a whole process. It's a very tedious process in a way, and we just kind of want to keep on going and doing our thing. I get it, the game is also about taking your time, as there's so many things to do in this game, but I feel like how everything is all interconnected, I feel like they could have operated a bit more. I think, if anything, the improvement in combat should be better. When you're fighting against a bug, you're really guarding majority of the time, and I feel like the evade, I don't think you get an iframe or something like that. So it's like, where are my defensive options in this game? I just feel like I'm just swinging my weapon, if anything, without any sort of thought to it, because once I see that opening, I'm gonna be swinging. Then once it has its aggro again on me, then I'm just gonna be literally shielding up or healing up. It's also, yeah, playing more defense. So I don't know, it doesn't seem as entertaining. Maybe later on my opinions will change for that. Maybe it's a skill issue, to say the least, right? That is just my opinions overall with the difficulty in the game, because again, I did not expect how this game could be very difficult if you have your brain off. So the last thing that I have an issue with is the thirst meter. I'm not more so with the hunger meter. With those type of meters in these sort of games, again, I get annoyed of them overall. But the thirst meter, it is actually very annoying, as your character does get very thirsty very quickly, and it sucks because when you're exploring, they don't really spawn a lot of the the water droplets, so it's very hard to see them. They're very limited, and also they do give you a canteen where you're able to store in water, but again, with how the thirst meter is and how quickly you get thirsty, this isn't like, it becomes a very irritating experience. I hope they end up buffing that overall. So again, that's just the little annoyance I have. Again, the game is great, and I think once you get used to things will just start clicking with you, and you just start doing your own thing. It's just that it does get annoying that, okay, oh, I don't have these resources anymore, I need to go all the way back home just to get water, or I have to really look around and search for a water droplet. So I think a resolution that they could do, or a solution that they can do when it comes to the thirst meter, is either buff it, because so far I'm using a lot of my skill upgrades to not be as thirsty or hungry for, because there's like a whole upgrade meter for it, and I'm putting those skills on that, and I hate that I'm wasting it, low-key wasting it on it. And I think a solution for it is to give an upgrade for the canteen, because apparently the canteen does not have an upgrade, or spawn more efficient droplets around the area. I know you're able to have like a little farming mechanism for it, but again, that would typically be at base. When you're out in exploration, there needs to be options for that, to somehow find more water for you to drink up. So overall, Grounded 2 has been an amazing experience. I'm looking forward to playing it and like playing much more of the content and seeing more of the newer maps. Hopefully I'll be invested much more in the future. I hope this isn't like a one and done game for me once we reach the end, because with this game being early access and we're limited on its content, hopefully, and along with other players, have much more retention on playing the other updates, and hopefully these updates have really much more incentive for it. I just hope the updates don't drag way too long. I'm not trying to play this game very long throughout like what, the next 5 years. I don't know how long Grounded was made, to be honest with you. Like, I don't know when they officially put the 1.0 update, but again, by the end of things, I don't want to leave this game just yet. I want to keep playing and I want to see the end of it, but I hope they don't drag it for too long. So hopefully we see all the content within the next year and a half, right? So, but all right, let me know how you guys are feeling about this game. Remember, drop a like, subscribe, feel free to comment, because I'm very curious how people are currently feeling about this game. From what I've seen, it's like mixed, but more so it's been positive. Like, obviously there's a lot of high hopes for the future of Grounded 2, and I honestly see it. It's very entertaining, and I think they should honestly focus, rather than the content they'll be putting out, focus on the multiplayer, like the ping, the connection from host to the other co-op partners, and then the performance, man. And everything else, focus on the content once that's done. I hope they get it done very soon though. But alright, peace. Have a good one.